I'm Ebong.
And I'm Kate.
And today we're dishing with you from MIO Restaurant, which is located at 1110 Vermont Avenue Northwest.
We're very excited because Nate, a viewer, suggested this location. Thank you, Nate. If you have any suggestions for locations, send them on over to us. And today we have a great guest. We're calling her Bawdy Slam. Now, Bawdy Slam's not her real name, but we're going to go by Bawdy Slam today because you're telling us about the DC Roller Girls, and that is the name you wear on the back of your Roller Girl jersey. What's a Roller Girl?
A Roller Girl is a woman who skates playing roller derby, and we have a league here in DC. We're the DC Roller Girls.
Now, I thought this was a new phenomenon because of that movie that came out recently.
I watched it when I was a kid.
Okay, I knew nothing about this. So it's a competitive skating league, and you guys run into each other, and it's like full contact or something? Like, tell me a little bit more.
Yeah, it is a full contact sport. The origins of roller derby go way back, but the sport has changed a lot. So now what the majority of leagues are playing is flat track derby.
Oh, really?
So we play on a flat track. And
not inclined.
Yeah, easier to find? Is it
banked.
easier to find a track like that? Is that why? Or?
That's one of the main reasons, exactly. And these leagues are popping up all over the country. Every major city has a league now. Our DC Roller Girls have 3 teams on our league. And basically what it is 2 teams competing. There's a lot of blocking, but the objective is for one skater, the jammer, to go as many times around as she can, making laps around and scoring points by passing the opposing blockers.
Okay. Now, what I love about roller derby with women is that it's also sort of fashion as well, that they have their whole outfits.
You could see her hot pants.
Yeah.
It's like sort of to me a cross between football and like Hooters, because the shorts she's wearing are short, and that's cool. So how do you decide? Yeah, how do you decide what your uniform is going to be?
Sure, and it's an interesting thing to reconcile because on the one hand, we're athletes, we're competitive, and we want to be respected as such. So we take ourselves really seriously. On the other hand, we are all women-run, and we don't have to answer to anybody else. All of the people on our board are skaters on our league, and so we get to have a little bit of fun with it. And if we want to do something girly, if we want to wear the fishnets and the hot pants, we got to.
So do you have on your teams or all the other teams in the league, do a lot of the competitors use their particular team as well as their individuality to show a little bit about themselves? So for example, maybe you're maybe gothic and you'd want to wear everything that's goth related. Do you have anybody like that on your team that's kind of...
Absolutely. In fact, on my team is Air Force One. And we
That's pretty good.
Yeah. All of our teams have sort of a DC flavor to them, but we've got a goth girl on our team and she definitely shows her spirit. Okay. Each of us gets to pick a roller derby name, and that's the hardest part about derby. The hardest part about derby really is finding what's going to be your persona on the track. So only one girl in the entire world can have any given derby name.
Wow.
And usually they're a mix of a play on words, so some kind of pun, something that sounds tough, and sometimes something that sounds kind of sexy too.
So how'd you come up with your name?
And it's body like body.
Yeah.
It's Bawdy Slam, and my number is 1-900.
Nice.
The idea behind that was that I could show that I'm being tough, but also that I like to talk derby.
Okay.
So I had a lot of fun picking it. It's just something that sort of shows a side of me that I don't get to show in my day job. At work, you're not so sexual.
I would hope
Well,
so.
it's our job.
Yeah, right.
But now, tell us honestly, how good are you guys? You good? You really good? Okay.
Yeah.
Do a lot of people come to watch you?
Definitely.
You play at the Armory, right?
We play at the DC Armory.
Pack the Armory? What? I mean, can we get into a game?
Yeah, it's best if you buy tickets ahead of time if you don't want to wait in the line, but there are definitely long lines because... Yeah, I mean, it's a great deal. Compared to other DC teams, you're going to pay a lot more for the Redskins. You're only paying $12 as an adult to see
you
the
guys
DC
win.
Roller Girls.
That's brilliant.
Yes, and I mean,
And they win.
Yeah, we're ranked 9th on the East.
Wow.
So we're not going to be going to nationals this month because it's only the top 3 teams that are playing in nationals, but we did a great job at regionals. And so we have an all-star team that's comprised of the best players from each of our local teams.
So what kind of equipment do you use? Because you said you're full contact
Yes.
and rock 'em, sock 'em, but yet obviously you didn't come in your full regalia. So what would you basically wear to a typical?
In order to
roller
play,
race?
you definitely have to have a helmet. You need a mouth guard, elbow pads, wrist guards, knee pads, and then of course your skates.
Are they inline skates or are they the old-timey roller skates?
We call them quad skates. They're the old-timey ones. Yeah.
Quad skates. Well, now we know.
You're
terms.
broad. You got broad skates. I think that's a play on words.
So
That's
can
good.
somebody actually use inline skates, or do you have to use? You can use any skates you want.
You have to use roller skates.
Oh, you have to use roller. I mean, you have to use roller skates, but you have to use the quad
quads.
skates.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
So
That's part of the sport.
Do you think that this movie, Whip It, that I alluded to earlier, do you think that that's going to increase knowledge of roller derby? That more people will be coming to your matches? Do you think that it's going to increase awareness of this? Because I actually didn't really know we had a league until this started coming about. So what do you all do to promote yourselves, or who really comes to the game? Because a lot of our viewers may be as ignorant as I was.
Okay, well, the movie Whip It that you're talking about is going to do a lot for roller derby. We have a training camp starting tomorrow. There's a training camp every few months for new girls that want to become roller girls. And this time it's an overwhelming response that we've gotten, and it's because of the movie Whip It. A lot of women feel empowered because they see this all-girl phenomenon in which you can go out, get tough, have a great time, make great friends. We do a lot of things around the community. We're involved in charities. We do a lot of events to promote ourselves, arm wrestling.
Okay.
Our sponsors love us and hook us up a lot of places, which is fun. But yeah, basically we get the word out. It's a very grassroots effort. And so because we don't, have any major ownership, we're not beholden to anyone, we also don't have all the money that we need. So a lot of it is going out and getting to talk to the public, passing out flyers and getting people to come. Most people are super excited when they hear about it because they can't believe that it's going on here in DC.
You say women empowerment, you're all athletes and you want to be seen like that, but you use the term girl. So how do you sort of reconcile that sort of
What's wrong with being a girl?
Well, nothing. I mean, I have no problem with it, but I was like, I'll go with chick or honey, whatever somebody wants to call me is fine. But like for these women who are really empowered by this and really are athletes, do they also use the term girl?
We do, and there's a playful side to it. At the same time, when we talk about play, we might say, this jam we're going to be man on man. So there's still things like that in the sporting world that do exist. Most of our skaters are actually in their late 20s or 30s. We've got women in their 40s. So most of us haven't put on skates since we were about 12 years old.
Right.
Everyone's starting at the same level. And it is an empowering thing because you see just how much you can do and how tough you can be.
And it wouldn't sound very good to say, DC roller woman. It'd sound horrible, I think. Roller girl, I think would sound.
I think that's going to be I'm going to work out the woman
Lady,
roller
DC roller lady.
Roller lady. Well, what's your end goal having done this? Is it to stay in shape? Is it to meet other women that are liking to do the same thing that you do? What do you get out of it?
What I get out of it, I get a lot of aggression out for sure. I stay in shape. I do make great friends, and I have a wonderful team that supports me and loves me. We're having a bout on November 28th. Our bouts is when we play, and it's at the DC Armory. Basically, my goal is to get as many people to come out and watch it because it's going to be something they've never seen before.
And who are you playing? What's the other team's name?
We've got the Cherry Blossom Bombshells are playing the DC Demon Cats, so 2 local teams, and then my team, Scare Force 1, will be playing one of Philly's home teams, the Heavy Metal Hookers.
I can only imagine what Philly's going to be like. Nightmare. Can you imagine?
They are.
We gotta beat them.
Exactly.
DC's gotta represent, and we're glad that they're doing it. Thank you so much for being on with us. You've surely taught me a lot. It seems like they must have known about roller girl. She's gonna be on your team next year.
All right.
He's gonna be cheering. And if you didn't know about roller derby either, we hope that you'll check out their next bout. You may see us there. And thanks as always for joining us here on this episode of The District Dish.